Good morning, YouTube. Hey, today is the day after I did an epic ride yesterday. All sorts of valleys, up, down, dales, switchbacks, inclines, declines. Brilliant. Yorkshire Dales, Richmondshire, Durhamshire. I don't know, what would you call it? What would that be up there? What shire would that be? I think it's part of Richmondshire. Cumbria, Lancashire, Yorkshire. Yeah, did everything yesterday. Anyway, long story short, I took a friend up towards Hartside Pass. Look at this. Sunshine. Good day, sunshine. Good day, sunshine. And bike's been brilliant, never had an issue, and we had to come behind a herd of cattle being driven into a milking parlour, so we had to wait behind them basically. As you know, yesterday was quite warm. Why is it quite warm? Because it's above 20 degrees. That's our fucking summer at the moment, above 20 degrees. Anyway, yeah, so the first thing I knew, the bike suddenly went, oh, I'm overheating. 120 degrees it was. Red flashing lights, stopped the bike. Anyway, as you do, you ignore that. And once it got going again, I thought the airflow it'll be alright, it'll come through the radiator. Nah, it went down from 120 to 111 and stayed around about that until I got to the top of Hartside Pass. Sorry, I'm in too high gear. And anyway, stopped, had a look at it, had a tank, no coolant in it, can't tell the radiator because it's hidden behind a shroud. So there was a fuel station 4 miles away down in Alston, so we limped down to the fuel station after letting the bike cool, and bought a big bottle of water, which is still in the back of the bike now. A big bottle of water, topped up the header tank, and then in order for you to top up the radiator properly, you've got to get to the radiator cap, which is underneath a shroud, like a panel. So I had to take the front seat off, the back seat off to get to the panel. Took the panel off, got to the radiator cap, under the radiator cap, filled it up with coolant, and it was empty. I mean, bone dry, empty. And not one drop spilt on the floor, as in like, it wasn't leaking. You couldn't see a leak or anything. Anyway, 7 weeks today, yeah, 7 weeks today, we should be on a ferry to go to Santander. And guess what, going on this bike. So I rang up KTM Triple D this morning, spoke to Dom the Bomb, brilliant guy, and yeah, bring it in as soon as you can, we'll have a look at it. So that's what I'm doing now. I've checked the water before I left, perfect, nothing wrong with it at all. And but I haven't put the panel back on. What's the point in putting the panel back on if I need to get to it again? It was alright. I won't say it was a faff. They're actually Torx bolts or 8mm nuts. You can do it in a dual fashion, but I've also found out you can do it in a triple fashion as well. So the Torx might be 25 maybe, Torx 25, the 8mm socket can get on it, but also an Allen key, a 5mm Allen key can get inside the star, and that's all I had on with. I don't know why I didn't have any Torx wrenches with me, but that's a lesson to be learnt. I always carry around an Allen key set. So that managed to get me out of the shit yesterday, and pull the panel off, topped up the radiator. And you might think, oh, what's all that about? What are you going on about? Well, I'm glad it happened for a start yesterday in this country. The last thing I want to do is be panicking, full of gear, two of us at middle and bumfuck nowhere, up a French Alp, and the bike's overheating. Hence why I'm so glad it's happened now. But by occurring now, I also want to find out the cause. So the symptom obviously is the stuff falling out. Well, the symptom is actually no coolant, but what's the cause? Where's the water gone? So this is another begs the question, right? The other question is, am I going the right way? The other question is, what was the question? Fucking hell, I'm going senile here. Yes, that was it. When the bike is on its side, so on the left hand side, the bike leans over a lot. So if you was to check your engine oil, which the sight glass is on the right hand side of the engine, you'll never get a true reading because the bike's never perpendicular, it's not level, if you know what I mean. And so therefore it's not accurate if it's on its side. However, yesterday when I noticed on it with lead on its side, which you would normally see the oil glass empty because the oil is not overfilled.
Yesterday it was in the sight glass, even on its side, which got me thinking, this was probably a while before that, why is it that the oil is high on its side? Surely if I tip it up so it's straight, it'll be even higher, and yeah, sure enough it is. The oil level's really high, so...
I suspect it could well be a head gasket. Suspect. Didn't really want to come this way. Yeah, it could be a head gasket, and the oil and the coolant's gone into the engine. That's, you'd think it could be that. Anyway, I had an engine light on yesterday as well, presumably because of the high temperature. But the temperature gauge has never risen above, it's at the moment flying around about 86, 87, 88 degrees. Even in slowish traffic now, well, not slowish, but you know, pedaling along, it's not been too bad. I can feel it getting hot around my legs, which they normally do, KTMs. They're a good winter bike. You never get cold with them. And so, because I ran it yesterday from Hartside all the way home, which was probably, I don't know, the way we went were about 100 mile, I think it were, might have been 80, something like that. And so with that running back down yesterday, not an issue, I'm taking the gamble today to actually ride it to KTM for them to have a look at it. I'm keeping an eye on obviously the temperature, make sure that's not going to go sky high. I'm just watching where I can overtake this guy. I know I can overtake him in a little while, but a lot of blind bends, a lot of crests. Farm on the right. Thank you. Yeah, so I'm just keeping an eye on that, and even though I'm not thrashing it, but also I'm not hanging around either. Yeah, it's gone up to 88, which is fine because I think they'll have a thermostat in at 89 degrees, something like that. So you can actually see your temperature. If you ever look at a temperature gauge, I know that some people wouldn't do this, but I do. You can always tell when an engine's getting hot and when the thermostat's opening and shutting, because you see the gauge rise and then fall. So it'll rise when the thermostat is shut, and when it gets to a temperature, the thermostat opens up, and then you'll see the coolant temperature drop down again, and that's when the actual thermostat is shut. Well, open, and then it'll shut again. So it's constantly, your thermostat's constantly opening and shutting depending on engine temperature. Getting a bit technical there, aren't I? Anyway, sorry to bore you, but it's a bit of a dilemma I'm having. I might be like one of the other YouTubers and, oh, can I borrow a bike? Fuck off. Use my own bike if I want to go somewhere. Did I say that out loud? I shouldn't really have said that. Anyway, each their own. I'm monitoring this temperature now until I get to Kendal. Anyway, I'll update you in a while. But as you can see, there's a white panel here on this side. and there's no panel on this side, because when you look in the mirror, or when I get off the bike, you'll see the panels are strapped to the back of my seat, more or less. Always take some straps with you just in case anything goes wrong. I had 2 straps in my bag, and God, they didn't half come in handy yesterday, just to tie up them panels. Otherwise I'd have to fit them back on the bike, and then if I did have another issue further on and the temperature went sky high again, I'd have to top the radiator up. I'd have to take the frigging panel back off again. Why don't they have a little panel you can just get to for your radiator cap? I don't know. Anyway, that's KTM for you. Actually, that's a lot of manufacturers. In fact, the Honda Hornet's even worse. The Honda Hornet, to get to that radiator cap, you almost have to take the frigging engine out to get to it. It's that bad. Anyway, enough of my rant. Let's get onto some nicer roads. I do like this bike. What's the temperature now? 86 degrees. See? It's holding up. I'd still like to know where the coolant's going. Might have a small leak. Might have. Hard to tell really with all the panels on and stuff like that. Plus the fact I don't have a pressurizer to test the pressure in it. Anyway, we'll leave it in the capable hands of professionals. I've not even dropped the oil to see if there's any water in it, which will give you obviously an absolute sign. You know, my query is why on earth has that oil level gone up? For me it'll only be one thing, coolant in it, but it's also not gone emulsified either. When you say emulsified, it's not gone milky. Usually when you get an oil and water mix, you get an emulsion, so it goes cloudy and milky, and it's nothing like that, which is a good sign. It's just the level of the oil is a concern, where it's high. Anyway, on to some boring roads. Bye. Yes, we have rain as usual. Every time I come here to Lake District, Cumbria, it always rains. It just started spitting. So here we have a 2024 890 SMT Supermoto. Oh, that feels nice already. See what this is like. Oh God, the seat's lovely and comfy. Wow. Quick shifter. Lovely take up with the throttle. The gear shifting is, I'd have to say, impeccable. I've got to go to a garage, get some fuel. But yeah, rang up Triple D this morning with an issue with my bike. Explained what was going on. No problem, Andy. Bring it in when you can, no worries. I was supposed to trailer it in, and I'll tell you for why in a minute, why I was going to trailer it in. Actually, you'll probably even know. It may well have had a suspected head gasket, that's what I thought anyway, because that oil level had gone up quite significantly compared to standard. Anyway, I rode it in because since having the issue yesterday, I rode it 100 miles back home anyway, and it didn't bat an eyelid. And this morning, even coming up here, temperature never went above 88, 89 degrees on normal riding. When I was behind a tractor for about quite a few miles, I had to what do you call it, when I had behind a tractor, I had to what am I talking about here? When I was behind a tractor and I was slow on the road, the temperature went up to 94 degrees, but the the fans would actually cope with that. Even up to 100 degrees is normal, especially in traffic, stuff like that. So anyway, I had no issue really with overeating. So if you have no issue with overeating, then it should be okay to ride up here, wouldn't it? Anyway, I digress. I'm talking shit at the moment, aren't I? Anyway, SMT, don't know anything about it. Apparently it's the same style or thing as the Adventure, similar to the 890 Adventure. It's just the 890 SMT. Obviously it doesn't have the big fairing, it doesn't have I don't think it'll have long travel suspension, and it doesn't obviously have knobbly tyres. What else does it not have? Oh, it doesn't have sport wheels either. But apart from that, don't know anything about it. It's got road tyres on, so more road biased, more stickiness. So obviously I'm getting a bit more wind in my face. But what a lovely throttle. I do like a nice throttle. That's the way to do it. Right to the front. Right to the front, just to go to the petrol station before everyone else, you selfish bastard. What a lovely bike. Rides really nicely. Got to put some fuel in it. Don't know how long I'm going to have it for, but we'll fill it right up. I filled the other one up this morning. £18 I put in it to fill up, which wasn't too bad. It had 40 miles range apparently, or 60 miles range, depending on how far you had the bike length over. See how much I can get in this. Apparently it said it had 50 mile range. All you keyboard warriors be going, oh, you've got a camera on at the petrol station, you're putting fuel in and you're sat at the side of the bike, you shouldn't be allowed to do that. Fuck off. I'm a rebel. 11 litres I've just put in it. Nice. Only 6 children in at one time, just in case you get possessed. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you. That's alright, thanks. How kind people are. up in the north, up in the Lake District. Anyway, I'm going to get back on my steed and get back home. See what this thing is like. See what we've got. Ride mode, street, sport, rain, track, sport. Let's have sport. Close throttle. Let's have that. We'll have a bit of that. We'll have a bit of sportiness. Oh dear. Let's see what that brings us. I must admit, I prefer the round mirrors for the old mirrorage. What I'll need to look behind. I've got used to them rather than these like trospedal, whatever you call them, mirrors. Angular things where they go thinner at the end. I quite like the round ones. These were off like the old 790 Adventure, these style. Like I said, I prefer the other ones. It's wanting to go in that sport mode, that's for sure. I'm just feathering the throttle, and straight away as soon as I feather it, it's trying to pick its feet up. So if I just put it back into street, I'll just see what they are. Street. Just see what that's like. Yeah, so when I'm actually just feathering that throttle now, it don't feel like as if it's as sensitive. So a distinct difference there in throttle response, that's for sure. But I am taken back. I know it sounds silly, but I'm taken back how comfortable it is. Really nice and comfortable. Same screen as the 890 Adventure, that modern style screen, a little bit bigger than the old 790, look a bit more information. Lovely transition of throttle response there, from going from nothing to giving something rather than lurching or you know, just that night. I like that. I do like that. Well, at least I'm not going back on the train. I've done that before, come back on the train from here. Takes an age. How many trains do I need to catch? Two trains and 2 buses to get home from here. Anyway, I digress. This is about a motorbike. This is about the SMT. This is about the 890 SMT. What's it all about? I don't know. It's black. It's got 2 wheels, it's got orange wheels, look very nice, very attractive, got no wind protection. It's got, I would call, shitty mirrors, or smaller mirrors that I'm used to. It must have the same fuel tank. Yeah, the fuel tank's the same. I bet you virtually everything's the same apart from the suspension and stuff like that, which is quite a nice thing to see. Just got to adjust if I can. There you are, I can see a bit better now. See what's behind me. I do like these tyres. I wonder if we can get these tyres on the Adventure. That'd be alright. Went away with these type of tyres on the Adventure. Maybe you can get some Road 5s or Road 6s. I don't think they do 21 inch though, do they? Yeah, I'll have to see what's available. Anyway, they've been siloing round here since I came up, so I'm following a tractor quite slowly, as you do. But that's the countryside for you. If you don't like it, fuck off. Just expect to find traffic and cows and shit and horses and the bane of my life, cyclists in these areas. There you are, here comes the tractor, so to speak. Here he is in his big silo trailer. Anyway, I've got a monkey bike to rebuild as well. I'm currently headless at the moment with the monkey. Doesn't like revving. I wonder how many miles this thing has done. I don't think it's been in for its first service yet, this. Let's have a look. See how many miles it's done. Looks like it's done over 1,000 miles. Mileage 1,051. Yeah, so it has probably had its first service. Get the usual heat coming from the engine on the old KTM, eating your legs up a little bit. Yeah, every time I come here it rains. Luckily this morning it was nice. So guess what I put on? I put my vented jacket on, my RST vented jacket. And now it's raining. And to top it all off, I've left my waterproof jacket in the back of the bike because I brought a bag up on the back of the bike. Anyway, I've got my most important bits, my wallet and my phone in my pocket. So that's what you've got to be careful of. A bit of tractor action. I got a new carburetor, sir, and I'll give you the key. Right, let's just put it in sport. Throttle, yes. Sport, yes. Thank you. Oh. I'm always a bit intimidated by crests. I don't like being on the back wheel. If ever I'm on the back wheel, it's because it's purely an accident. No skill level involved whatsoever, because there's no skill that I've got about putting a bike on the back wheel, that's for sure. Hence why I avoid it like the plague. Brakes are really good. What do you expect? Oh dear. He did offer me the 1390 or whatever you call it. I don't know what you can call it now. The bigger bike, basically. No, thank you. Don't want to die. I don't want your bike to come back in bits. I do know what I'm capable of, and please don't encourage me. It's not going to end well. Anyway, I do like this road. It's quite a nice test of any bike on this particular road. It's quiet enough to get up to 60 miles an hour, if you know what I mean. Undulating, twisty, fast, slow. I do wish that they had more traction, as in it was drier. Every time I come here, like I said, it's raining. Might be better when I get out of these hills. I look like a milk tanker coming up. straight down here to overtake this chap, little chap. Bike just wants to go and go and go and go. Let's clean my lens. Just come over this crest just in case anyone's gone into that dip that I don't know about. Come out and go. Oh, dear me. 30 miles an hour. Ding dang do. How majestic do these hills look today? Very impressive. Yes. Can I sum up the 890 SMT? Alright. Quite a nice bike. Comfortable. I'd say that's the one thing. At the moment, I'd say it's comfortable. Reminds me of my Hornet, but a bit bigger. In fact, this would suit a more European side of a chap like myself than the Hornet, being so cramped like the Asian Japanese market that they have. Oh shit, look at that fucking weather. Welcome to Britain. Here comes summer. Fuck off. Another one. Anyway, gotta get through it. My nemesis corner coming up. Not this one, the next left. So like gives you a false sense of security, this corner on the left coming up. This one here. Because roundabout now tightens up even more. Very quick bike. I think you can get very used to this very quickly to flick it around. In fact, even the 890 Adventure R is very flickable, but this one's even more so. I think that throttle's slightly sensitive because I'm trying to hold it, and yeah, very difficult to keep a steady throttle, slow speed. Oh, sound like Bagpuss. You remember that? Bagpuss. With Professor Yaffle.
And Bagpuss was wide awake. And when Bagpuss wakes up, all his friends wake up too. The mice on the mouse organ woke up and stretched. Madeleine, the rag doll. Gabriel, the toad. And last of all, Professor Yaffle, who was a very distinguished old woodpecker. He climbed down off his bookend and went to see what it was that Emily had brought.
Now that's not me. Every time I'm going over a bump, my hand's rolling the throttle back slightly, which exaggerates the throttle response. But when you're on it, as in pull it right back, it doesn't do that for obvious reasons. We need to get one toss and stood in the middle of the road, don't you? These fucking wombles around here. This place has gone health and safety mad. High-vis vests on everything. So yeah, I'm not working tonight, which is good. But yesterday I faffed around all day. I was out from 9:20. I didn't come back until about 9:45 last night. So yes, it was quite late. Full day out riding the bike. Went as far as what's it called now? Went as far as Alston. Honestly, some people can't park for fucking toffee. This is quite bad, this track for going round the street. Let's go take it back. The street. Wow, what a difference that makes. Just that undulation of the your throttle, pulling on and pushing off the throttle makes a massive difference. I'm going to change it to sport. Let's hope this rain stays off. Sorry if I've gone quiet, I'm concentrating. We've got an ST Ford Focus up the arse. Well, was up my arse. But the problem is, around here we've got farm traffic, which I'm very much aware of, which I want to avoid. Lovely. What a lovely ride. A lovely ride. Very nice ride. Yeah, as soon as you come into a 30, you just want to feather that throttle. It's quite difficult to keep it steady in sport or track. Certainly track, but sport's not too bad, but just take a look, a bit of finessing. But in street, it's very pleasant. Ah, look at the rain. Piss off. Well, I know, Andy's got a KTM from Triple D, let's rain. Alright then, no problem. What about this heat wave? Fuck the heat wave. Let's just piss down on him. Alright then, no problem. Has he got his vented jacket on? Yes, he has. Right, let's piss down even more. Bastard. Gonna come back like a wet tea bag. This was not forecast. I don't think, anyway. Oh, just when I was going to overtake him. Friggin' tractor. Is that YouTube? Yeah. Is it raining? Yeah. Let's go out with camera then. Right, okay. Oh, fuck me. Tour de France is in front of us now. Run the cunt over. I wish I had washer jets on this bike. That's what we need. We need to go for compulsory washer jets not to wash the windscreen, but just to douse the cyclists as you go past with. I'll tell you what, let's put a bit of mud on the road as well at the same time. Jesus Christ, how much more mourning are you going to do? Stop it. Welcome to farming Britain. For all you clocks and farm people, bet this is like pouring this, isn't it? Farming pouring. Anyway, I'm free. I could see that this down here was clear for quite a while. Not in my luck, you'd probably go in that field. But anyway, I've got past. Nice and safe, not too risky. Don't really like too many risks. Look at that, a bird being like attacking a some sort of bird of prey. Look at that, 2 of them attacking it. Wow, it's like as if they're driving them home or driving them away. Yeah, I do like the turn of speed on this bike. I did have the option of getting the 990 Duke actually, which I've already ridden once, and but unfortunately that was in the wet, and I didn't really. Well, I did really want to borrow it again, but it got an issue with the quick shifter. It needs recalibrating. First, second doesn't really work. So I thought I gave that a miss really, and that's why I've opted for this one, the SMT. Pardon me. Certainly know that you're travelling at speed on this bike. It's not too bad actually, the wind's not too bad. I don't mind that. It's just noisy, but obviously I don't have any custom fit guards in either, so let's watch this car coming through. So yeah, it's yin and yang, isn't it? If you don't have any ear protection in, because it's going to be noisy. Them tyres really dig in. Again, I'm not too confident really in these conditions with these tyres. Stop. Carry on. Remember that, Mark and Lloyd.
Stop!
On the old Radio 1. I don't know what happened to Lord. Oh, look at these tosses. Fucking hell, Biggles. Honestly. If I came home and said, I know what, love, we're going to buy a 3-wheeled, either a Morgan or an Alvis, whatever they are, and we're going to put these goggles on, and we're going to look really cool, and we're going to go 3 abreast. Through the Trough of Bowling, because it's a cool thing to do to look like a twat. I think my missus would say, you're on your own there, pal. I won't be seen dead in that. See, I don't really like these corners in this damp and wet conditions. I don't like it. I wish it was dry. Oh dear, wish it was dry. Nice. Anyway, on to the hills and far away. Here we are, we're up over near, it's not Bleasdale, what's it called? Abbeystead, that's it, Abbeystead. It's where the rails come for some shooting parties and take back some fancy ducks called pheasants, which were actually Chinese, by the way. Either them sheep have been very constipated and just let go, or that's silage from a trailer. Not looking too bad actually. I've seen it worse. Obviously it's rained over here. It's that fine rain, it soaks you through. Anyway, on that note, I'm going to probably leave you. Yeah, just because that's the sort of thing I do. There you are, Abbeystead off to the right, and sheep ahead of us. Don't give a shit, these sheep. They're very good for passing. Now, where was I? And the seat was too idle. I'll tell you where, right? The Isle of Man. If you ever go to the Isle of Man, the sheep are just dreadful. They're going to run straight out in front of you. No questions asked. Slow livestock in the road. I wonder if they've got worms. I wonder if he's breeding worms. It says slow livestock in the middle of the road. Or snails. Ah, that's what it is. It's snails. I bet he's breeding snails. That's the only thing that can make sense, really, isn't it? Anyway, on that stupid dad joke, I'm going to leave you. Goodbye. Goodbye. I'm just going to, not even going to say anything, I'm just going to ride, let you look at what I'm looking at. Look at this. Magnificent. All this between, roughly I reckon 15 miles maximum from home.